Hey there guys, it's TheRamosOnline here, and this is my rematch against the guy I posted the video earlier today where my litigant actually swept his rain team. Here is the rematch against him. He re-challenged me with a different team, and this time I just, I say the team is different and I don't want to just sweep him again, so I lead with Candy. And he leads with his Star Raptor, which I guess after seeing a litigant sweep his team makes a lot of sense. So I go for the first turn life or boosted stab technician fake out and deal almost 50%. I'm expecting this thing to be scarred and to want to either Brave Bird or U-turn, but it's actually going to hard switch out and go into his Emolga. As I hard switched into my Diancie. Now, he's going to go for the Electro Ball, which does deal damage based on speed, so I can understand why he'd go for that. Diancie is a very slow Pokemon, Emolga is pretty quick, but I am a special defense wall, so I'm going to eat that up and my Diamond Storm is going to take out that Emolga. Unfortunately, I don't get the defense boost, so I'm not going to get really bulky in my defense. It is a 50-50. He brings in his Gallade now, and it goes for the EQ. I didn't even know Gallade can learn Earthquake. Diancie is definitely not going to enjoy that as I go for the Moonblast on that turn to try and get some damage onto this Gallade. Now I know it's going to be a very bad idea if I decide to sack Diancie off this early in the match, so I get a bit of Lefty's recovery, then I'm going to switch her out into a Pokemon that is far more expendable. That is Candy. Now I'm not even sure if Candy will survive another EQ, but it doesn't really matter as he goes to close combat anyway, finishing off my poor little Ambipom. Down she goes. Don't really need her. I mean, the fake out would have been nice to have, and the technician boosted attacks, but it's a sacrifice I was willing to make. So we're both down one poke. I go into Kasara now, and I'm going for the knockoff, expecting him to want to go into the Star Raptor, predicting my EQ. Now, either he predicted my predict, or he just decided to switch into Wolverine, who is his Weavile. So I go for the knockoff, so that is going to be a resisted hit. Gonna get a bit of boosted damage because I do knock off the Focus Sash, but I don't exactly want to stay in on this thing because an Ice Shard or Ice Punch is definitely coming my way. I go into my physical wall, who is Fua, my awesome Furfrou, and that Ice Punch is going to do absolutely nothing. He withdraws his Weavile and goes back into the Gallade. Now, I can see why he'd want to do that. He has got the close combat. However, even stab close combat won't dent a Furfrou that much. And I actually go for the Sucker Punch here, which is going to be enough to finish off the Gallade, because it is a neutral hit, because Gallade is fighting and psychic, or the other way around. It doesn't really matter. So then he goes into the Charizard. Now, I was pretty sure this was going to be a Charizard Y, and I didn't really want to switch anything into a Stab Sun boosted Flamethrower, but I, for some strange reason, thought my Furfrou could survive the one hit, because Furfrou is surprisingly bulky when you go max HP, and I can survive some very powerful hits, but unfortunately, this is just a bit too much for my Furfrou to survive. Her fur gets singed, she is now on fire, and she is dead, unfortunately. Good thing I have revives. So I go into my Gardevoir, Euphemia. I'm going to Trace the Drought. Doesn't really do anything because Drought is already up. He's going to withdraw his Charizard. Now, I'm not entirely sure why he decided to do that. Maybe he predicted my Psychic type move, which I was actually going for. This Gardevoir does not run Thunderbolt. The Thunderbolt is actually on my Hyper Voice Gardevoir. This is my VGC bred Gardevoir, just because I think Hyper Voice can be a little bit cheap at times. So my Psyshock is going to get eaten up. He did predict the Psychic type move, and he goes for the Night Slash. That is not going to be enough to finish off Euphemia. Surprisingly bulky for a Pokemon with no physical bulk at all, and a Moonblast is going to be enough to finish off this Weavile. So down that thing goes. So I'm at a pretty comfortable lead. I'm down 2 pokes, he's down 3. He goes into his Star Raptor, and I was predicting a Brave Bird or something, so I go into Kasara, who is, as you know, my Crocodile. He actually goes for the U-turn, and I'm pretty confident my Gardevoir could have survived that because it's not a super effective hit. And luckily, Crocodile does survive, but this Crocodile is now pretty useless. It definitely won't be surviving another hit, and I really have no answer to switch in on this Charizard, because it does have Solar Beam. So my only answer is to try and get some damage on it. I go for the knockoff, and he goes for the Flamethrower, and that is going to be the end. A crit as well to add insult to injury. That is the end of my Sand Gator, or my Sand Dial, whatever it's called. Crocodile, yeah. So here I go into Diancie. But the sun is gone now, so I know Flamethrower won't do much damage, and I know he can't go for the Solar Beam. So I knew I could survive, so I went for the rest. So I can start going for my rest talk, the little strategy I did on singles Diancie. Rest talk, really handy, really powerful if you can get a defensive boost through Diamond Storm as well. Now he's going to withdraw his Charizard as he goes into his last Pokemon, which is the Dragonite. As I go for the Sleep Talk, my little Diancie is adorable and sleeping, and I just want to tuck her in because she's so cute. And she goes for the Sleep Talk, and I am lucky enough to get the Diamond Storm, so that is going to be doing some damage to this thing. A surprising amount of damage as well. Either this thing isn't multi-scale, or I'm just really underestimating the power of the Diancie. Unfortunately, that does activate his weakness policy, and a +2 EQ is going to take her out. I had nothing I wanted to switch into that Earthquake, so unfortunately the Diancie is going to die in her sleep. So at least she went peacefully. So I knew my Euphemia would be able to outspeed a Dragonite as long as it didn't have the extreme speed, which it didn't. So down goes the Dragonite. Now this Gardevoir is modest, as it was bred into my VGC team, so it's meant to be using a Choice Scarf, but in this team I give it a Mega Stone just to make it more powerful. So I am running modest, so I'm pretty confident this Charizard, if it's timid, it will outspeed, and if it's modest, it's a speed tie. So unfortunately, he does pick up the KO because I think this ended up being a timid Charizard. No reason to go modest really with the Sun Boost and Stab. So my last Pokemon is my Litigant, Gardena. Now again, this is going to be a speed tie, and unfortunately, I win this speed tie and take down the Charizard with a Hidden Power Rock. So his last Pokemon, we're both now down to our last Pokemon, him having the Staraptor, me having the Litigant. He goes with the Brave Bird, and at this point in the battle, I'm thinking, crap, it's over, I've lost. But then I remember that my Gardena has the Focus Sash, and I completely forgot that I gave it to her, because normally it doesn't trigger. So with that, I'm going to get off my Hidden Power Rock, and down goes the Staraptor. That was an awesome battle. I just can't get over how awesome that battle was. But there's an even more awesome battle that I had with someone else later on, which I'll probably upload later on today or tomorrow. Now, the battle, this battle here, people have been asking for me to post my Litigant strat, so I'm probably going to do that later on today. It's actually a very common Litigant build, but I suppose because Litigant isn't actually used that much, not many people know about it, so I'll be doing that later on today. Anyway, so if you liked the video, remember to thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe. I would love it if you did. And if you had an issue with the video, then let me know what the issue was in the comment section below, and give the video a thumbs down. I'm not offended by thumbs downs. So, you know, feel free to let your opinion be heard. Anyway, this video is getting a bit long now, so I will see you guys in the next video.